Hi, welcome to Market Alert for Thursday, the 14th of November 2019. So, yesterday the stock market shrugged off China trade talks, tumults, and it decoupled from bonds. So, how did this actually pan out? Well, let's have a look, and we'll start off with the daily chart. And you can see that overnight prices have broken the all time high. They did yesterday and have continued to do so on the overnight. So let me just place in this one for you to give you the new all-time high, heading towards that 30,000 slowly but surely, on very low volume. I mean, we can see that the volume has declined in this market. There is pure levitation, and goodness knows how much money they're pumping into this market to try and keep it on the upside at the moment. Yesterday, the market also moving higher, way above the 20 bar MA as well. So let's have a look and see what happened inside of yesterday's price action. It was an interesting day. And as ever, we started off, the market was sideways. We went straight through the 200 MA with a professional buying bar. We then were met with some potential weakness and selling. And then, sure as night follows day, we see the market being bought back with the professional buying bar. We get the buy signal, and we can see the buying there. And then the market trades up towards the DP level, where it trades sideways, which we see there. To move higher again, we have to break through the sideways resistance, and we see professional buying here, just as we saw professional buying moving up to the DP level. Prices are then free to trade up to the R1. They go beyond the R1 and then they stop at this level here, and then they are rudely interrupted by this news item where the stocks yuan tumble as trade talks hit snag. You know, it's just, as I've said before, it's all rumours about the China trade talks, and it's just used to offset something else that comes into the market. This is probably more sinister. There was probably something that crept out about another bank needing more money, but let's just bury the news with the trade talks. It's as if the trade talks are used to mask other things that are going on in the market. So anyway, the market was slammed down nearly 100 points, well, just over 100 points actually, if we look from the high to the low, straight to the DP level. We see the market test, we see them buy back in. The market comes back on low volume, and then we see prices closing back above the 50 bar average there, the blue bar, and then we end up right back where we started with the market making a new high. Here's the all-time high on the overnight, and then the market's moved back. Price is currently trading sideways, but they are above the 200 MA, and they'll be above the DP level as well, which you can now see down here. So the market currently on the buy side. The implied volatility has increased in this market, no doubt due in part to that shakeout that we saw towards the end of the trading session, but at the moment still remains below the 20 bar moving average, but only just we're getting closer to this. And again, you can see here how prices are really coiling in this market. I mean, we've seen it before, but mainly to the downside. As you can see there, I've not really seen this one where it's gone so slowly to the upside. One thing that I do know is that it will explode at some point to the upside. There's no doubts about that, because that's the very nature. And we are due for a correction in this market as well. We've not had one for a while, and as I've said many times before, the corrections are far more frequent. The only sort of issue would be, or fly in the ointment for me, would be that we are in the Santa rally heading towards Christmas, and they don't want anything really to upset the Christmas season, as I said in yesterday's market alert. So we could see the market just trade sideways and consolidate. While we're here, 10-year is still continuing to remain above the green. This is 0.31 for yesterday. And yeah, not a lot else to report with regards to this. So back to the Dow. Like I say, we've already put a new all-time high in on the overnight, and we are due for a correction, but it's how much they would allow it to actually come back, whether they will allow another one to come back to the 200 MA before Christmas. But we'll trade what we see. I mean, ultimately, if it goes, it goes, and that's fine by me. We could do with a bit more volatility in this market. Today sees the second day for Powell testifying. This is at 3 p.m, so just keep an eye on this one. Otherwise, any other news today, not really of any consequence, apart from the retail sales may have a bit of an impact on the pound. Let's have a quick look at the pound, see what it's been doing over the last few days. And we'll start off with the daily chart. You can see it's sideways, which is why not really bothered too much. We're in election season, so the market, unless it finds something major, is just going to be stuck in a range, and we can see this for yesterday there. And then finally, talking of sideways ranges, Bitcoin is, last few days really struggling to show any sort of volatility, as can be seen quite clearly here. Just below the 200 MA at the moment in the 4 hour. A lot of volume coming in there, so could be a case that we'll see the market either come back. If not, then we're going to sell heavy to the downside and break the support there. But yesterday, we didn't even get $100 range in this market, so very quiet there, which is why the focus has shifted at the moment to the Dow, as there's plenty of volatility and points to be made there at the moment. Okay, that's it for this one. If there is anything major to report, I will let you know. But otherwise, as ever, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.